Hi guys, this is Chun. Today we're going to talk about an interesting topic which is called social engineering. So what is social engineering? Social engineering is a way of tricking people into performing actions or divulging confidential information for the purpose of fraud or cybercrime. There are many different types of social engineering and it comes in many different forms. And the first type, which is the most common type, is shoulder surfing. We'll talk about shoulder surfing using several examples in the next 1 to 2 minutes. Wants to know what your spouse has been up to recently? Simply look over her shoulder when she's using a PC. Shoulder surfing relies on physical proximity and reduced awareness, especially in public spaces, to gain personal information. As the name suggests, shoulder surfing refers to someone peeping over your shoulder when you're typing in your passwords or when you're accessing sensitive information from your PC or mobile phone. Common scenarios where this can happen are at the public terminals in airports and libraries, as well as in crowded areas such as on a train. Next, the second type of social engineering which is commonly seen is called phishing. There are several types of phishing. The first type of phishing is via the phone, and the second type of phishing is via the email. And lastly, the third type, spear phishing. In the case of phone phishing, let's explain it using a recent case which happened in Singapore, the DHL parcel scam. The scammer masqueraded as an employee of DHL and called the victim. She was told that she had a parcel containing illegal goods that was detained by Chinese custom. The call was then transferred to another person whose number was reflected in the caller ID as 999 and he claimed to be from the police. The victim was then asked to provide her iBanking credentials, including the one-time password from her iBanking dongle. She later discovered that her iBanking account had been accessed without her knowledge, and about 36k had been transferred to an unknown bank account. And moving on to the second type of phishing, email phishing. For email phishing, it is generally more common as compared to phone phishing, as it requires less effort from the scammer. The scammers can simply send the same phishing email to hundreds of email accounts and wait for the victim to fall into the trap. In a typical email phishing scenario, the scammer will send the victim an email which is masqueraded as, for example, from the bank. The email typically contains a fake URL which points to a web page that looks exactly like the legit iBanking login interface. The victim will then attempt to log in with his credentials through the masqueraded iBanking web page. Once the victim logs in through the web page, scammer will be able to steal his login credentials, including the one-time password, and proceed to log into his iBanking account using the real iBanking site. For spear phishing, it can be in the form of phone or email phishing, but it is a targeted form of phishing, meaning to say, the content of the call or email is highly tailored to a particular target. The victim is usually an important person of a company and holds access to sensitive or valuable information. As shown an example here, is a phishing email of a free golf membership to a country club which is sent to the CEO of company XYZ, who likes to play golf. Upon clicking on the URL in the phishing email, a malicious malware is unknowingly downloaded into the CEO's computer, and the malware then proceeds to collect sensitive information from the CEO's computer and send this information back to the attacker. In the case of pretexting, scammer will impersonate as a person of authority, example the police, in order to pressure the victim into giving out sensitive information, such as in the case of the DHL parcel scam. And lastly, the last type of social engineering is quid pro quo. Scammers will trick the victim into providing his personal particulars or other sensitive information on the pretext of conducting surveys, which often will be rewarded with a free gift or access to downloads at the end of the survey. So, should I be concerned about social engineering? Will it happen to me? It turns out that no matter how good are the security controls in your system, they are only as strong as the weakest link, which is human. Based on the statistics gathered so far, 90% of the population will reveal their personal particulars without verification. 67% will give out sensitive information easily, and there is a 100% success rate in physical breaches using social engineering methods such as tailgating. Now that you know that you should be concerned falling victim to social engineering, how should you minimize such chances then? First, always stay alert. Second, if you receive any calls claiming to be from DHL, banks or the authorities, Do not disclose your personal information, such as your name and address, to them. If they call you, they should know who you are. Third, banks will never ask you to provide your login credentials over phones or emails, so always remember that. And lastly, always type in the iBanking URL yourself and access it from the site's main page instead of clicking on any links that you found in the emails. We hope that this video has given you a good introduction of what is social engineering and what you can do as an individual to protect yourself from falling victim into social engineering.